Good morning, boys and girls, mom and dad. This is Nurse Judith from Broward Children's Center, the preschool. Today we want to talk about the brain. And is this a picture of the brain? The brain is about 3 pounds. It is a very complex organ in the body. It weighs about 3 pounds. It is full of matters. We call it gray and white matters. And these various sections have various function. This is the brain itself. This is the brain stem. This is the brain stem down here. And so you'll see the spinal cord. So the brain stem here, the spinal cord, and the brain, which different frontal. And each frontal have its own function. So what we're going to look at today is the brain and what it consists of. It consists of mainly water and fat. So you need these things to function at your optimum best. The brain is about 2% of your body weight, and it eats up about 20% of your calories. So make sure what you're taking in, the brain's going to need some. So make sure what you eat and drink matters a lot, especially to the brain. The function of the brain. The brain is located close to the sensory nerves like the eyes, your ear, your nose, and your mouth. And of course, touch is another sensory. So the brain is located in this area, and it's located in your head, inside your skull. We need the brain to help us with our thought process, our memory, our speech, our movement, and to function in other organs as well, in our intelligence, our creativity, in our emotions, and in our also the things we process like informations and thoughts. So we need the brain. It is so essential that we have a functioning brain at its optimum best. Now the brain consists, as I showed you before, the brain consists of the brain stem, and the spinal cord. And so it's the brain, the spine, the brain stem, and the spinal cord. And all this function have their own individual function. The brain has some hemisphere, also lobes. And so you'll see the different lobes here on the brain. Okay, the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the temporal lobes, and the occipital lobe. And you see the various lobes here on the brain, and they all have various functions. Now, what you eat and drink, that's what we're going to focus on. What we eat and drink matters a lot to the brain. Don't worry about the different part of the brain. We have so many different functions and so different parts. The first thing we want to address is water, drinking your water. It is important that you drink sufficient water throughout the day. The brain needs fluid, okay? Especially on a hot, sunny day, especially if you're outdoor and sweating a lot, you will need to replace your fluid, especially if you're on medication like diuretics that deplete you of your fluid, you want to replace your fluid. Okay, so the brain needs water. Water do a lot of things for the brain. First of all, it brings oxygen and nutrients to the brain. It removes toxin, and it also removes carbon dioxide. So you need whatever you eat and drink for the brain. It works very well also for the heart. Okay? So if it works for the brain, mom and dad, and children, it works for the heart as well. Now, we want to encourage you to drink your water. Water regulates the body temperature. Water also lubricates the brain and cushion it as well. Water helps with electrolytes, to maintain your electrolytes. It helps to reduce headache. It helps to reduce blood sugar. It helps to reduce your blood pressure. So you want to make sure you drink your water to focus at your optimum best. Another thing the brain needs is fat. Good fat. And I'm stressing that for a reason, because the bad fat doesn't help the brain. It clogs it up and causes problem with your heart as well as your brain. It can lead to other problems. So you want to make sure you get good fat. Now, some of the good fat is avocado. Avocado is a very good fat. Another good fat is seeds and nuts. You'll find very good fat in seeds and nuts like flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seed. Those are very good fat and essential fatty acid. The brain needs the essential fatty acid. So that's the good fat you will need. Another good fat is coconut oil as well as olive oil. And you'll find different ways to include those in your meal. For instance, you can put it on a slice of toast. You can put olive oil on a slice of toast. You can put coconut oil on a slice of toast. You can add it to your oatmeal. You can add it to your smoothie. And so you can find different way to include olive oil and coconut oil in your diet because they are good fat that your brain needs to function at its optimum best. You may say, Judith, it's hard to feed children. Yes, the children may not, but you have to find a way to mass it in their smoothie, mass it in their yogurt. You can still put those things in it. Now, another thing is rest. You need to rest. You need to sleep. You need at least 7 to 9 hours sleep. That including the children need to sleep as well as the parent need to sleep. Okay. When you sleep, your body rebuilds, your brain cells rebuild, okay, and remove toxin from the system and replenish your system. So you want to make sure you get optimum sleep at night, okay? Go to bed early, get some rest. Another tip for some mom, you may say, my child don't go to bed early. Well, you could use, there's a few things you can use. One is cherry tart. Now, the cherry tart, try and get the unsweetened cherry tart. It's the natural melatonin. So that's unsweetened, maybe 30 cc's. You don't need a lot, maybe just 2 tablespoons, and the child will go to get some sleep. So go and search for your cherry tart. That will help your child sleep better at night. And make sure you get the unsweetened cherry tart. 2 tablespoons is good enough. They'll go to sleep and have a good night rest. Also, for those elderly, if you have elderly parents who won't sleep, you can try the cherry tart just as well. Okay, so we talk about sleeping, fat, and also drinking your water. Those are 3 main things that are going to help you your brain stay at its optimum best. Now, there's some things that affect the brain, and we want to address this. As we tell you the good things that help the brain, we have to let you know the things that affect the brain. And one of the things that affect the brain is sugar. Too much consumption of sugar. So you want to reduce your sugar consumption as much as possible. You will have to take a look at your labels, label your food, see what you're eating and how much sugar you're consuming, because that destroys the brain cells. Okay, another thing that destroys the brain cell is caffeine. Consuming too much caffeine. Now, if you drink a cup of coffee in the dark form, it is good. Now, if you're going to add sugar and creamer, which is hydrogenated oil, then you're destroying the coffee and also messed up your system by adding additional sugar and hydrogenated oil. That is not good for the brain and it's not good for the heart. Again, I said most of the food that are good for the brain, it's also good for the heart. So you want to reduce your sugar intake. Stress. Oh, I have to say that one. Stress again. A lot of people are stressing, especially now with the pandemic going around. A lot of people are dealing with stress because there are a lot of things they have to handle. They may have to take care of their children. They may have to be the teacher. There's so much more. They have to be stay at home all the time, or they may go out or they're in and out. But they have additional stress. The bills to be paid and whatever responsibility. Parents, reach out to someone. Reach out to family, friends, loved one. Anyone want to give you help? This is the time to welcome a good help. So try and alleviate stress. Some of the things you can do is yoga, exercise, me time. Oh, that's my favorite thing. Me time. Take some me time and reduce on stress. If you have to get a massage, get a massage. Do what it takes to alleviate stress as much as possible. Avoid consumption of alcohol. Yes, a glass of wine is fine, not 6 glasses of wine. That's another story. So you have to be careful, parents, with alcohol consumption. It also destroys the brain. Medication. I know a lot of children are on medication, especially seizure medication, and they have to be on it. But parents, try and think of alternative way beside medication. So talk to your doctor, find out what else you can do beside taking the medication, because the medication is destroying your children's brain every day. They are consuming the medication. So keep them hydrated as much as possible and find other way of addressing these problems beside medication. Processed food. Processed food is a big issue. And processed food, of course, it destroyed the brain as well. So you want to reduce and much processed food as possible. I know it's convenient, but it's not always the best. Get the fresh food as much as possible, closest to what God made. Put it that way. That's the closest way I can get it to. Because if it's processed, it's further broken down, and additive is added to the food, and that can cause more problem for your child, especially those dealing with different medical and mental disability already. Okay. Again, we talk about reducing the stress. We talk about caffeine and alcohol consumption, sugar consumption, and processed food. And these things are and medication as well. These things damage the brain long term. So you want to make sure you reduce on these as much as possible and increase on your food high in antioxidant. It remove free radicals. So you want to increase the antioxidant, and that will be your blueberries, your dark chocolate. So those are good food. Green tea is another good one. It's very high in antioxidant. So I want to encourage you, all you moms and dad out there, to try and add blueberry to your diet. Add some dark chocolate. Try and add that to your children's diet as well. We'll be sending out some recipe with blueberry and dark chocolate, so you can integrate it in your diet for both mom and children and dad as well. You can use milk shake. That's another way to put blueberry in. You can have some yogurt with some blueberry in, and a salad with some blueberry. So you can try and get very creative with this blueberry pancake. You can put some blueberry into your pancakes, and flaxseed. So there's a way of increasing. We talk about fat, the essential fatty acid. We talk about olive oil and coconut oil. You can use these in your diet as well, because the brain needs all this fat, and it also needs water. It's about 60% fat, and it's also about 80% fluid, because the gray and white matter need fat and it need water for you to function. Okay, and that's the brain. The brain is a very complex organ, and we want to take care of our brain. If you take care of your brain, it will take care of your heart, and it even take care of your gut. These are good food that help your brain, they help your heart, and also your gut. Okay, so I want to thank you, mom and dad, for tuning in. Thank you, children, for tuning in. And remember to stay hydrated, drink your water, also eat your healthy fat, and you also want to get enough rest. Have a great day. Bye.